Alright, so, as you can see, I gave up on the chat stand. It's just too hard for me, and apparently, at least from the one comment I did get, wasn't worth it. And this microphone may be on its way out next, unless somebody sees a considerable increase in audio quality. But anyway, so Skeleton Crew, episode 5? So we get to see the parents again, and they attempt to be sneaky and get access to some code. Apparently they want to get some message outside of to be transmitted outside the barrier. And Wim, being the kind of law-abiding citizen that he is, made it painfully obvious that he was doing something shady. Because he was typing away and the security droid noticed him, and he was making eye contact with the droid, and he was just acting like I'm doing something I shouldn't be doing. Now, granted, the droids figured out something was happening because of a surge at his station, which I don't know why have a computer at your station if you're not supposed to use it, but maybe it can detect unauthorized usage. But anyway, so we see that Wim's father's not very good at, he would never be a good spy. Neil's parent obviously doesn't work there. Now, whether they just work in a different area on the Great Work or what, because obviously the Great Work doesn't have anything to do with the Mint, because there's nobody talking about printing money. Nothing about currency. We don't know what he does at his office job, but he was able to gain access to get a message past the barrier. Which Fern's mom, the undersecretary, is concerned because she's trying to go through the proper channels, which Wim's dad is like, yeah, where did that get you? But, so she's still trying through proper channels, and he is just trying to send a message out there. So, I don't know, I guess the message included the coordinates to Atten. So maybe that's how the kids ultimately get home. Because, I shouldn't say again. Sorry, I tried to do this video once before and completely forgot about the parents. But we don't know if they have the coordinates. They are getting closer to getting home, but I don't think they have the coordinates yet. So, most of this episode was them landing on this pleasure planet and Jod trying to let the kids stay on the planet, even though kids are not allowed because this is supposed to be adult entertainment. It has a spa. Now, unless it's that, a type of spa that, like the massage parlor, that people assume does more than massages. Unless it's that kind of a spa, why can't kids be a part of it? So anyway, Jod tries to bribe his way to stay, which he does. Now, we do see him again using some of the Force. He used it to give Winn back his pad after he gave him a pep talk about using his imagination because he's good at that. We found out that Winn's mom does exist, even though we've never seen her. So whether they're divorced, I think Emergency Awesome said that she died, but Winn said he misses his mom. Now, mom and dad, not just dad. So I'm assuming we just haven't seen her. So they land on this pleasure planet, which I love the juxtaposition. Violence is not tolerated on this planet. If you engage in violence, you will be shot. Okay. Yeah. Only we can use violence. You guys can't. That makes sense. So, of course, Jod is recognized by one of the people there, and they call in his bounty. I don't know if he even knows he has a bounty. I mean, he knows that pirates are after him, but I don't know if he realizes that he must, because he knew that Pocket was going to come after them. So, and he did say that the kids have a bounty as well, which they don't. I don't think they do. I think just Jod has the bounty. So yeah, I answered my question. He does know he has a bounty on his head. And, so they want to find the lair of SM-33's former captain. And now, obviously, this captain has been long dead based on where the ship was found and the fact that the crew that was left in there were skeletons. I still wonder if that rat that keeps going in and out of his eye socket does anything. But anyway. So now, I'm not sure if it was Wim or Neil who didn't know what a concubine is. And instead of Jod explaining, he's like, okay, story time over. I have to admit, I mean, these are supposed to be like 10-year-old kids. I'm pretty sure Fern knows what a concubine is simply because she knows what a brothel is. But how do you explain that to a kid? What a concubine is. But anyway. So they're going through the spa, trying to figure, and SM-33 is just beyond disgusted at what has happened to that planet. Because he's just like, what have they done to this planet? How could they do this? And I don't think he has caught on how long it's been since he's been deactivated. I don't think anyone has implied what year this is. So he has no reference as to what year they're in and how long he's been decommissioned. So, they're looking for the lair, and of course it's in the spas. So they split up, and, the kids say, I want this person, I want that person, whoops. I want this person, I want that person, and Jod's like, I don't care, just make teams, and we're going. So it's Fern, Jod, and who's on the other team? And Neil on one team. And it's Wim and KB. Wait. No, wait. Neil, KB, and Jod in one team. And Wim and Fern on the other. And of course, the security forces figure out that Jod is full of shit and try to arrest him. And now this shows that his knowledge of the Force is very limited. So I don't know if he was a victim of of Order 66, and that he was a young Jedi Padawan and didn't, that Order 66 interrupted his training so that he was just a kid. And then it's a matter of how he ended up in the Outer Rim. It's possible that he was found by a pirate, or he was from the Outer Rim originally and he just went back to his parents after Order 66. Who we don't know. But he obviously was training to be a Jedi. He has the robes. He has some nominal Jedi abilities. Now, Wim is confused because he's like, wait, you said you're not a Jedi. How could you do this? And they're making it, the show is making it seem like that he's using smoke and mirrors, that he's not actually Force sensitive. But I think he is. I think that he was probably, like I said, he didn't finish his training because of Order 66. It's not a situation like Ahsoka, who left because she became disillusioned with the Jedi, because his knowledge of the Force is very minimal. He knows things like no attachments. So he's aware of the lore. Now, again, I don't understand how Wim doesn't understand that it's not just Jedis who are Force sensitive, because one of his dolls was a Sith. How can you be playing with a Sith doll and not realize that they're Force sensitive? But, so they get saved by Smee. Well, first they get saved by KB, who brings out a wrench, and the security forces are chuckling, what are you going to do with a wrench? And so she basically sends steam at the security forces. We're slowly seeing the kids working as a team. And so Smee finds them after what seemed like Fern being in trouble because this creature looked like it was going to attack her. And when you see Smee, he just calmly says, the captain, wants you to follow me to the lair. And now it sounded like they called this creature Chthon. Now, obviously, they probably can't, because even though Star Wars is now owned by Disney, same as Marvel, I don't think they have the right to that name. So, then it would sounded like Cathalan, or I'm not sure. But, at first I thought they said Cthulhu. And then Chthon, so I'm not, and then Cathalan. So I'm unclear. And, so they're telling a story to this creature, which Wim and Fern are the best people to do that, because they are both Wim has an imagination. Fern is just worldly. So between the two of them, I'm sure they could tell a great story. And so he helped the kids get into the cavern that they need to get to the to the lair. And as they go, they find a pool of acid. And KB's like, that's not water. When I think it was Wim who said, who wants to dive in first? Or Jod, actually. I think one of those two. And so they managed to use the one remaining credit to use it to get rid of the acid, because pirates don't consider life to be the greatest treasure. I mean, to be the most biggest sacrifice. It's to throw away treasure, which is way on the nose. So they get into the lair and they close the doors because the pirates are behind them. And that's where Jod seemingly turns on the kids. They find a data port and they played this old recording, and you don't see the face. It's not just flickering, but you don't even see a face. I thought I saw a little bit of a cowboy hat, but it was obviously probably a pirate hat. So we don't see a face. So either it's someone who looks like Jod. I'm not saying it is Jod, because if it were, he would be a hell of a lot older. Unless he found some sort of fountain of youth. But in which case, he would probably know how to get to his own lair. It wouldn't have taken him this long. But it could be... Now, the kids, I don't know if the kids or even the adults know what the supervisor looks like. So it's possible that it could be the supervisor. Whether, this is supposed to be an infamous pirate, but what if he became the supervisor or became the prototype for the supervisor? That they cloned him, or he uploaded his consciousness to AI, or what, because we do not know. This is still a peaceful planet, so maybe not. But maybe it is a face, maybe it's not the captain per se, but maybe they used his likeness. Or maybe it's just simply a face that the kids would recognize for some reason. And whether it would indicate to one of them that they're descended from pirates, or someone they know is descended from pirates. But there's an obvious reason. Now, the show is probably trying to get you to think that it looks like Jod. Like I said, it's possible, but if it is, he is an ancestor to Jod. It's obviously not him, per se. Which, of course, would explain why he has a freaking lightsaber in his lair. The only reason he would have a lightsaber is either he managed to get it off a Jedi, whether it be because someone else killed a Jedi, or he himself was a Jedi, mirroring what Jod seems to be, except Jod quit his training very early on. Or, yeah, those are pretty much the options. So it's possible that this pirate looks like Jod. It's possible that this person looks like whomever the supervisor is supposed to be. But there is a reason why they did not show us his face. Now we don't know what Fern's dad looks like. We've met all the dads, Neil's parents, we've seen KB's parents, we've met Wim's dad. But this was obviously a male voice. We do not know Fern's dad. We know her mom, but we don't know anything about her dad. So it's possible he has some features of Fern. So that could be another possibility, that maybe he's related to Fern, which would probably freak out a lot of people and would explain her tough girl streak. And so at that point, Jod seemingly turns on the kids. He decides that he wants to fight Fern for the captainship. And he basically, now this is why I don't think he's truly turning on them, because he doesn't want to hurt Fern. He actually tells her to stop, to yield. Just say you yield and I don't have to hurt you. And Fern, being a kid and scared out of her mind at this point, but also very, very tough exterior. She doesn't want to seem weak. Tries to throw something at him. It's like, yeah, that's basic Jedi trick that, that's not going to be a problem. So he has her with a knife at her throat. And it looks like Wim is going to save her. He picks up a lightsaber, but a la how he handled the gun, which was not very well, in the last episode, he didn't handle the lightsaber coming out very well. Now, the gun I can understand, because guns have kickback. I'm not sure why he freaked out over the lightsaber, because, what did he think a lightsaber was? So he failed at that. So the lightsaber gets dropped, but they're all sitting on the trapdoor. Now Jod orders SM-33 to arrest them and put them in the brig for mutiny. So SM-33 apologizes, says, gotta follow captain's orders. And so that's when Wim activates the trapdoor and they go down. Now, they're trying to, and he also kills the pirates. I'm not completely sure it was all of them, because I think some of them might have been able to get out. It depends on how fast the acid were to gurgle back up. But they really want you to think that he's become the bad guy of the last few episodes. That what everyone thought was right, including the kids. The kids didn't completely trust Jod either. So I truly believe that that's the twist, that he's actually not turned on them, and that there's a good reason why he wanted them in the brig. He probably realized that shady shit was about to go down and that he wanted to protect them. Now, why he thought that, I do not know. But he seemed, I think that's why he wanted them in the brig. But instead, they went down the trapdoor. And he seemed to be completely taken aback. He seemed shocked that this happened. But he picks up the lightsaber, and that's the end of the episode. So I think he's going to go after the kids. Not because he wants to hurt them, but he wants to, get them home. Now, again, why does he want to throw them into the brig? He must be expecting something nasty to happen. I don't know if, because they have a mint, which I think it was Wim who asked, what's a mint? And Fern had to tell him. So I wonder if, upon seeing the onyx cinder, that At-Aten would have some defenses and attack, and he figures putting them in the brig will protect them from whatever attack At-Aten would provide, or he's expecting, or he knows who the supervisor is, and maybe I'm right, and the supervisor's actually the uploaded consciousness of this notorious pirate. But I do not think that he was actually turning on them. Now, he probably felt, because they don't trust him as far as they can throw him, he probably felt that he couldn't tell them the truth. But I honestly, just by the fact that he did not want to harm Fern, tells me he does care about these kids, and he was never, it seems like he's turning on them, but I don't think he actually is. So there's going to be some sort of twist. Now, if I'm right, because like I said, I didn't see the face. Now, I don't know if Jod figured something out, because again, he does have some latent force abilities. So I don't know if he figured out something or if he saw something and he realized that it would be safer for the kids to be under arrest. So yeah, now it's a race for who makes it to the Onyx Cinder first and what happens to the others. Now, I truly believe that Jod is going to go after the kids along with SM-33. He's probably going to capture the kids, or maybe the kids are going to stow away on the Onyx Cinder without Jod and SM-33 figuring it out. I mean, I guess that's possible. KB is very capable with mechanics, so she could probably cloak them from detection. But it looks like we're going to be going back to At-Aten possibly next week. I don't know if because Wim's dad actually said, no, we didn't send out the coordinates, don't worry, we're gonna remain safe. So I really wonder what was the message, and what did Jod figure out, or what? Maybe he's trying to protect the kids from finding out that their idyllic suburban life is not what they think it is, and he wants to protect them from the truth. That's also a possibility. That he wants to deal with the nasty stuff so the kids can go back to their carefree existence. and not be burdened by whatever it is that is going on this planet. Or maybe the parents figure out that something shady is going on. The kids find out something shady is going on along with Jod and SM-33, and they all band together. And that the actual bad guy of the season is going to be this unnamed supervisor, whom I'm questioning whether he isn't this, definitely not the Notorious Pirate, but maybe a clone of him, or like, something like a Hal type of thing. Because, like I said, there is a reason they did not show his face. So, trying to think if there's anything else I want to mention about this episode. I think I've covered everything I wanted to. So, yeah, let me know what you think of this microphone. Like I said, I got rid of the chat stand for 2 reasons. One person didn't like it because they like to see what I'm wearing. And it's just really, really hard. And I'm not a patient person. And I'm just done with trying to open it so I can shove my phone in it. I know I'm probably doing something wrong, but whatever. Doesn't work for me. So anyway, I believe that's all I have for this video. And with that, I will see you guys in the next one.